In Nigeria, it is estimated that 90 to 95% of all the enterprises are within the nano, macro, small, and medium categories. However, despite their numerical dominance, Nigerian NMSMEs contribute less than 10% to non-agricultural GDP. This situation has been attributed to their unstructured and highly individualistic tendencies, near total disconnect with large enterprises, high level of informality, their simplistic yet uncompetitive product, high dependence on public infrastructure, their inability to access business support services, and so on. In 2017, National MSME Survey jointly conducted by SMEDAN and MVS shown that there were over 41 million MSMEs in the country. They were also known to have contributed well over 59 million to jobs creation in the nation, over 84% of the total labor force. Unfortunately, most NMSMEs have limited access to capital, require capacity building, access to market, equipment, innovation, information, linkages, etc. To sustain growth and avoid collapse that could allow business owners and employees deeper into poverty. However, the data presented in the year 2017 survey has become stale and lost its relevance. In 2020 NSME survey report presented some figures that show a significant shrink in the total number of NMSMEs in Nigeria. 339,654,385, and a decrease of about 3.5% of the Nigerian nano, micro, small, and medium enterprises, contributing to gross domestic product. The 2020 survey reported an increase of about 3.7% in subsector contribution to employment in Nigeria. Part of the reasons for the drop in the number of NMSMEs cannot be totally divorced from the open global competitiveness that has had negative impact on the MSMEs, and also the worsening case of insecurity. Aside global competition and security, a novel COVID-19 pandemic have also taken a serious bite on the number of MSMEs in the country. There is also the need for more collective and sustained action aimed at creating an enabling environment for NMSMEs, especially as it pertains to funding, compliance, infrastructural, both soft and hard, technology, and market. Toward addressing some of the factors that have negatively affected the subsector, a revised national policy on MSMEs have put in place a national, regional, and state and local government coordination mechanism to ensure that issues that MSMEs are usually confronted with, access to funds, infrastructure, compliance, and skills development, etc., are properly and effectively tackled. The full impact of the implementation of some of the recommended key strategic actions in the national policy are expected to fully reflect the form of increase in the number of enterprises, wealth creation, and increased contribution to employment, as well as non-export earnings. Well, I'm confident that the revised national policy on NMSMEs and the 2020 National Survey on MSME will provide suitable platform for initiating and implementing special interventions for the subsector. And I urge every stakeholder to work in more coordinated manner to ensure the structured and sustainable development of nano, macro, small, and medium enterprises in Nigeria.
The total number of MSMEs in Nigeria as at December 2020 was 39,654,385. Total number of micro enterprises, on the other hand, was 38,413,420, representing 96% of the total MSMEs, while the total number of small and medium enterprises was 1,240,965 establishments, representing 3.1%. That also the MSMEs in Nigeria contributed 46.31% to the nation's gross domestic product. That MSMEs accounted for 96.7% of businesses and 87.9% of employment generation as of 2020. Also, that MSMEs accounted for 6.21% of gross exports within the Nigerian economy. To also interest us to know that the four major economic sectors, the medium enterprises, were agriculture representing 38.4%, household retail trade representing 33.3%, other service activities representing 9.8%, and manufacturing representing 4.2%. Together, these accounted for about 85.7% of all medium enterprises. In 2020, a total of 61,954,073 persons were engaged in MSMEs in Nigeria. As regards the ownership structure in the medium enterprises, sole proprietorship dominated with 96.2%, followed by partnerships, which stood at 3.3%, while faith-based organization was the least with 0.4%. About 44.4% of medium enterprises business enterprises were found to be owned by persons within the age bracket of 36 to 50 years old, while 26 to 35 years old recorded 21.6%. That MSMEs were mostly owned by males, representing 67.1%. And that COVID-19 pandemic affected tremendously MSMEs in the country, showed that 53.2% of small and medium enterprises and 37.3% of medium enterprises were temporarily closed during the period. The major reasons reported for closure was the total lockdown of the economy then, and then the restriction in movement, which consequently led to increase in the cost of transportation nationwide. Overall, I must say that the MSME's contribution to GDP witnessed a decrease of 3.5% in the year 2020 when compared to what was recorded in 2017. Also, there was a reduction in the number of MSMEs in 2020, with 2020, as earlier mentioned, recording 39,654,385 establishments, as against the number recorded in 2017, which the DG has already mentioned, which was 41,543,028 establishments. And the reason for the reduction might not be unconnected with the negative impact of COVID-19 pandemic, which affected a lot of businesses in Nigeria. In conclusion, distinguished ladies and gentlemen,